Hello everyone, welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news of a possible new Indian casino in Ridgecrest, news from the airport district, a new person is going to join me here at the news desk, today's KZGN Talking Points editorial, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. Well, the big topic for Wednesday's City Council meeting was whether the city should enter an agreement to allow a new Indian casino within city limits. I have to say, this is a huge surprise. It's interesting how quiet this prospective project was kept until it pops up unexpectedly on the council's agenda. And many in the audience expressed the same sentiment. While the council took a general offense to the way the council was handling this issue, here's the brief staff report. The Timbisha Shoshone tribe wishes to develop an Indian gaming casino within the city of Ridgecrest and wants to utilize certain city services in the operation of this entertainment venue. This agreement would provide the city general fund a currently estimated $400,000 per year, plus a one-time payment of $80,000. These payments are to offset the city costs for providing city services to the Timbisha project. The tribe has also agreed to payments at 2% of the appraised value of the development and will provide annual payments of $128,000 per year for police and fire protection, as well as problem gaming programs. Both of these amounts will increase as future phases of the proposed development are completed. The agreement also calls for the tribe to provide a 10% payment to the city for any future hotel development, as well as joining the RACVB, Tourism Business District, and paying its assessments. The agreement is for a period of 20 years from the commencement of casino operations. The payments will offset the city for lost property and sales taxes due to the federal status of the land upon which the development will sit. And there is a lot more details in the actual agreement, which appears very fair to the city. The project is to be built along North China Lake Boulevard in the city business park, about a half-mile south of the China Lake main entrance. The tribe will purchase the large parcel. The details is that with the purchase, the land then becomes federal land owned by the Indian tribe, legally no longer under control of the city. However, the agreement states that generally the tribe agrees to waive almost all the sovereignty of federal lands and agrees to subject the entire project to be under the legal control of the city for planning and building, essentially waiving their sovereignty and agreeing to be under the supervision of the city. The entire project will be designed and built under the city's usual controls. This is a major concession of the tribe, and that is in addition to the fees they have agreed to pay the city for various costs. Here's an excerpt from the agreement. The tribe shall enact laws applicable to the trust lands and shall require that the trust lands be used and developed in a manner that complies with all applicable city general, specific, and community plans, zoning ordinances, and design guidelines in effect at the time of development. The tribe shall adopt the building standards set out in the city's adopted building codes, and prior to the use of any structure constructed on the trust lands, provide the city, at the tribe's expense, with written certification from the project architect that said structures have been constructed in accordance with said standards. To ensure that tribal laws are adequately enforced, the tribe agrees to contract with the city to provide planning, building, safety, fire protection, and public work personnel to review construction plans and inspect construction of improvements on the trust lands, to ensure compliance with the adopted codes. Here's more. The tribe does agree to submit its development plan for development review and comment by city staff and to pay the city all service fees and impact fees established by the city. How about police authority on federal land, you may ask? Here's what's in the agreement. The city shall have authority to enforce state and local criminal laws on their land. How about employment and new jobs? Here's what's in the agreement. The tribe shall work in good faith with the city to employ qualified residents at the gaming facility to the extent permitted by applicable law. They plan on hiring about 150 employees to start. So while the initial project is to build and operate a new casino, they have provided possible future development ideas. They include a hotel, small-scale amusement park, including video arcade games and miniature golf, bowling center, restaurants, coffee shops, snack bars, nightclubs or bars, including live entertainment, an entertainment venue, tribal gaming commission offices, tribal government offices. The following uses are expressly prohibited at the tribal lands: unless otherwise consented to in writing by the Ridgecrest City Council. Gas stations, retail establishments, residential housing, other uses not related to or furthering tribes' gambling activities at the tribal lands. Well, after a short staff presentation, the council deferred any comments until they heard from the public. And boy, they got an earful. I lost count of the public speakers, but suffice to say, about 20 people spoke in opposition, 2 supported the project, and maybe 4 were neutral or wanted more details. The majority of the opposition was based on the moral and psychological impacts on the residents. There were only a couple comments expressing actual concerns about the project itself. A couple did say they thought the location was not appropriate. Many in the opposition feared the effect it would have on the people of Ridgecrest. They feared that our conservative way of life would be gone forever, that people's lives would be ruined. They feared crime and drug use would go up. Some felt that the operation of the casino would cost a lot more than what they would be paying and donating to the city. A couple made hidden threats that they will remember this come re-election time. And this fall will be election time for the mayor and 2 council seats. One supporter stated that the city needs to diversify. We need more employment. The staff report offered that the tribe would be hiring about 150 employees. This would be generally a non-competing industry for the city. Well, after the public input and charges of secrecy and disappointment in the council for how this was brought forward, the council agreed to table the item until a special meeting next week. The council offered little comment on where they stand on the concept. That was disappointing. So everyone left with no inclination as to what the council is thinking, except that the entire council chastised the public comments against them for lack of transparency and backroom negotiations. I should add that only the mayor and 3 council members were there. Councilman Sanders was again absent from the dais. He has missed a lot of meetings over the last 2 years for a variety of reasons, some health reasons and a lot of work travel conflicts. Anyway, now we wait until next week for further discussion. Now here's a wrap-up of the rest of the council meeting. First, there was a presentation of awards for the Animal Shelter Solar Park. The solar project was completed by donations and should save the city about $10,000 per year in electricity costs. Then there was the presentation of a proclamation recognizing May 1st through May 7th, 2016 as National Municipal Clerk Week. Then there was a presentation on the development of the East Kern County Diversification Plan by the consultant TIP Strategies Incorporated. The next part of the meeting was the consent calendar. Here are the items discussed. First, they adopted a resolution approving a proclamation recognizing Parental Alienation Awareness Day. Then they approved setting a public hearing for the establishment of a new fund and requested assessment collection services for the Drainage Benefit Assessment District in the area of West College Heights Boulevard, formerly known as the Horton Tract. The hearing declares the city's intention to form the Drainage Benefit Assessment District and initiating proceedings to form the Drainage Benefit Assessment District and to levy assessments commencing in fiscal year 2016-17, and to conduct a property owner protest ballot proceeding for the assessments and set the time and place for the public hearing. Next, the council accepted a grant of easement deed for additional street right-of-way for North Warner Street improvements for Mr. and Mrs. Jennings for $4,500. Then the council voted to authorize tax allocation bonds in the amount of about $74,000 to be used for matching funds for construction of the South China Lake Boulevard project from Bowman Road to College Heights Boulevard. Then the meeting went on to discussion and other action items. The first item on this part of the agenda had the council approving a new member of the Ridgecrest Personnel Commission. Then the council agreed to allocate $25,000 from the wastewater fund to partially fund the preparation of a salt and nutrient management plan. Then they had a discussion of creating an ad hoc budget review committee. Nothing was decided except they would ponder the idea a little more and bring it back for further discussion. Also at last night's council meeting, representatives from the airport district gave a short update on getting air service back into the valley. There's an airline that mostly operates as Island Hopper Airline in the Hawaiian Islands, and they have agreed to commit to provide services for 3 years here. They predict the one-way ticket price would be about $100. However, they need full planes to make that rate stick. In heavy use years, the airport had over 11,000 riders per year. That had dropped to about $7,000 per year as the fare kept going up and up. At the time the service was stopped, the fare ticket was the highest airline price in the country for a similar route. The speaker stated that they still need a commitment from the community both to use the airline and they need to raise over $100,000 in matching fund commitments to bolster their application for the grant to help fund the return of the service. They need financial commitment now. They said they won't need the actual money until the grant is received. They encourage everyone to go to their website, www.inyukurnairport.com, for more information. Thanks for staying with us. In the news here at KZGN-TV, I'm happy to announce that a new news anchor will be joining me for the nightly news. Field reporter Tanya Pyle will start doing the news one day per week. So if you're tired of just seeing me report the news, you should be happy that Tanya will start with tomorrow's program. My wife Shannon and I are real happy to have her join the KZGN on-air team. Now it's time for the 137th KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Here's today's topic. Did the city handle the proposed new Indian casino in Ridgecrest right? Well, at Wednesday's council meeting, there was a lot of heat over this concept. There were probably about 100 people there for this topic. However, only about 30 got up and spoke. I really did lose count as I was taking notes of comments. Stepping away from the actual topic, many people expressed real concern on how the council brought this forward. Many people complained of secrecy and backroom cronyism. Many people thought that transparency was violated. People felt betrayed by the mayor and the council. Some provided veiled threats that they'll remember this come election day this fall. Clearly, the opponents felt betrayed by the council. People saw this as an attempt by the council to bring this forward with about 3 days' notice and get it passed real quick before anyone had time to get riled up. The truth is, and I'm not sure why the council didn't make a point of this, is that the council has been discussing this topic for quite some time. It was a topic of executive sessions under the guise of negotiations, which is okay for executive sessions. However, while that point is correct, there should have been disclosure that an Indian tribe has proposed the building of a casino here. After all, this was proposed once before in the 1990s. Anyway, the council should have known how a lot of people would react to this topic. A much more thorough staff report and project pitch could have been provided by the developer. Many questions and concerns could have been dealt with via the use of a better project presentation. A thorough explanation of the terms of the agreement could have been provided. The part of the agreement where the tribe basically waives most of their federal sovereignty to the benefit of the city is a major concession. It really is. The part where they allow our police to enforce all laws on their property is major. The agreement that they will subject the property to all city building and planning supervision is noteworthy. And there are other important aspects of the agreement that should have been presented, but they weren't. Then we get to the moral issue, which I will not comment on. I believe that the issue of gambling is a personal one. Some feel that it will change the town forever for the worse. Some fear crime will go up. Well, how about it, Council? How about some information as to how the casinos have affected our neighbors to the north? How about a report from Inyo County? They have casinos in Lone Pine and Bishop. How have they been affected by their casinos? I'm sure you can get information from them. Personally, I believe the council has more information than they have provided us so far. And I don't mean they are hiding anything. What I mean is that they have more details that they have not shared yet. And this usually happens when things get out of control. I think the four of them up there came into last night's meeting with a probable decision. A decision made with more details and information we have yet to see. And then they put off any other discussion until next week. Why did they do that without providing the public with more information? They should have addressed all the people's questions last night, not put it off till next week. They should have provided data on the claims of the increases in crime, increases in drug and alcoholism, charges of suicide rates going up, charges of how a casino will affect marriages and families, and the list goes on. The council had to have known that these issues would be brought up. They should have been ready for them. They should have disclosed weeks ago that there was an Indian casino being proposed in the city without violating anything specific about the actual project. In the end, The poor handling and presentation of the project has caused a major problem. This is for the community and the council. Whether the public's perception of being swindled by the council is right or wrong, it is still their perception. Based on some of the opposition comments, some of those could have been put to rest last night with a more thorough project presentation. If the developer had presented preliminary site plans with building elevations, it would have helped. I think that a tribal leader should have gone to the podium and spoken from his heart as to their desires for the project. That didn't happen. The tribe should have brought local Indian residents of our fine town to comment on the project. Again, the council should have been more open with this one. Now the council needs to really open up. Tell us what you think and why. If you support, state the reasons one by one. If you oppose, state those reasons one by one. If you see concerns and have possible solutions to those concerns, state them. Give the developer a chance to respond to your comments and the public's comments. In conclusion, this was handled terribly by the council. They had to have known the major concerns the community would voice and have been ready to answer those concerns. Now the council really needs to open up. Tell us what you think and why. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments about this editorial or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@kzgn.net. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, showers and thunderstorms will continue over already soaked portions of the Texas Gulf Coast and portions of the Southern Plains. Farther west, snow showers will continue for the higher elevations of the Rockies. Warm and windy conditions will be in place across the Northeast and Northwest. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas at 68, Georgia at 77, Arkansas at 76, Northern Texas at 72, New Mexico at 68, and Los Angeles at 70. And for us locally, tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 57, south-southwest wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Friday, partly sunny with a high near 81, southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 53, southwest wind 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 78, west wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around 53, west wind 5 miles per hour. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 80, south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday night, partly cloudy with a low around 53, west wind 15 to 20 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25. And Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 72, west wind 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
So that's the news for today. All of the KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next.